Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Bridging Cultures, Building Businesses. I am Justin Noriega, Executive Director of the Greater Quad Cities Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we have my co-host with me again here. I'll let him introduce himself so he can tell you about our amazing guest also.
How you doing? My name is Emmanuel Juarez, a board member of Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, and we have an amazing guest today. Should we let him introduce himself?
Yeah, let's let him introduce himself.
Oh, well, thank you, guys. I'm Alvaro Macias. I am the VP of Community Development at a Central Credit Union. I also serve on the City Council for Moline, Illinois, and I'm just very happy to have the invitation to sit down and chat with you both.
Gladly. Thank you for having us. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad we were able to make it work, man. And I know you've been busy doing a lot of stuff. Great with the community and your involvement with the community. Tell us a little bit more about you, your background, maybe some things that you're excited for this year.
Sure. I guess for those who might not know me, I was born in Mexico City. I came here when I was 8 years old. But my family really has deep roots here in the Quad Cities. My great-grandfather used to come here. My grandfather used to come here. They would come to work. They'd go back because they didn't care for these cold winters of the Midwest. So naturally they'd go back and forth. And so we've had family here in the Quad Cities for generations and also in Mexico City. So eventually my family decided to move here, make it a permanent move. And so I've been here since I was 8 years old. And the Quad Cities has been my home ever since.
Nice.
So yeah, that's good. So I'm a lifelong Quad City, and so I have a lot of these roots, unlike this guy here. But yeah, as he did say, he's, our new board member. We would vote on him recently. So even when we first started this podcast, he was just a friend helping us out, and now he's a board member. So yeah, it was great to have him on board, and we appreciate you being here with us. But, like I said, having the roots in the history, I remember I used to go to your brother's comic book shop down in Silver.
Yeah, so you know what the comic book store.
Yeah, so I know you guys have been around for a long time, and you and your family just do great things for the community. Even through Essentra, whether it's you and your family and you personally, but or where you work with. Yeah, Essentra does so much here in the Quad Cities. It's really nice to have them on board and have you who takes the helm as far as getting that community outreach out there. I think it's great. We appreciate that. So thank you. Because I know I seen you post up ride your bike to work week.
Yeah.
Did you ride today?
No, I didn't. I actually don't have. I gotta admit, I don't have a working bike that I can ride. I have a little Jetson electric bike, but I don't know if that counts. And I also have to drop my daughter off at school beforehand, so it'd be kind of weird. The little Jetson, then heading back to Bettendorf. But
I don't blame you. I get to work and be all sweaty. It's getting warm out there now.
Yes, and I have to be ready for this too. So I needed a car, right?
Exactly.
No, but it's funny that you mentioned my brother's comic book shop, baseball card shop, and comic book shop, because that kind of ties into the entrepreneurial spirit of my family. And my brother has been very instrumental in just setting up some of those foundations here in the Quad Cities. And so naturally, when the Hispanic Chamber started, and even now to this day, you at the helm, we're very supportive, not just myself, my brother, and we just see a value in providing just the access opportunities for a lot of up-and-coming business owners and people thinking about starting a business, and those who just jump right in and might need just to get the word out about their businesses or a little technical assistance. So I remember my brother started just like many other business owners, dove right in, figured it out, and he did have a good run with his comic book shop, and eventually he created the newspaper Hola America. So
I want to make his own magazine, right?
Yeah, now he actually has a magazine for Latinas in entrepreneurship, and so he's been a very good mentor of mine, in particular with business and entrepreneurship. So yeah, I give him a lot of credit for everything he's done, and yeah, he's kind of really been there for me in just, again, mentoring and giving advice on career moves, and even with some of the political stuff that I've done.
Well, and speaking of that, helping all those, those new young businesses or aspiring business people. I mean, I see you all over, like you've done that, some things with Blackhawk, and really helped a lot of, in the past, helped a lot of new entrepreneurs
Yeah.
You know, if you want to tell us a little bit about some of that you did in his, that was pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. They had the Center for Multicultural Entrepreneurship. It was going really strong for a couple of years there, and I got the opportunity to mentor some of the students, and some of them were newer to the country, newer to the Quad Cities, and they just had very unique life experiences that I just found fascinating. But what they didn't have is somebody they could turn to basically talk to them about what I do if my my certification from the other country I came from doesn't transfer over here, and you know, and I didn't get great grades over there because of these issues, but in reality they're very bright students, right?
Right.
And so in particular there was one young lady who was looking to transfer to one of our local universities, and she didn't have her degree yet. So they basically told her she would have to wait till the fall. They couldn't accept her for the summer program. And it just so happened that I met the president of this college just maybe a couple of weeks before, and I reached out, explained the situation. And, you know, she did she told us what to do. She did what she was supposed to, and she got accepted on a condition that she graduates from Blackout College.
Nice. Wow.
So, but that made a huge difference for her, because at the time she didn't know if she would have to go to another college and change her major. And she really wanted to go to this one that had the major that she wanted to focus on. So, again, a lot of times we take those relationships for granted, all of us, right? But if you can make a call and make a pathway for somebody who just doesn't know what they're going to do, especially somebody young, especially somebody who doesn't know like the system or doesn't have the network, that's what it's all about. So it was very rewarding for me knowing that it helped her in her career, and now she's doing great things at her job. So, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. And it's great to know, like you said, those connections. I mean, I know anytime if I have anybody, I can call Alvaro, hey, these people are having trouble with the financing, or they're wanting to refinance their business or figure out other things. I mean, to have you on hand is very helpful. And then knowing that you're so passionate about it. Like, it isn't like you're just doing this on a whim because it's your job at Essentra. You've been doing this forever, even before then. And like you said, even in your family, you guys have all done that. So that's the plus. It's one thing, a lot of these people, whether it's a minority or just someone who might not be a minority, but they don't know what to do. There's a lot of things. There's not that handbook for every business, because they're all different. One business might tell us that it's just A to Z and it's this, and there's all these other little humps for the other type of business. So being able to have those connections, I'm sure the community really appreciates you. I know I do. And I'm sure the community appreciates what you do, because like I said, I see you all over doing all sorts of things. So
well, I try to do my part. Sometimes you get pulled in many directions, and it's hard to say no, right? And I'm sure you get it too, right? But it's just, again, just when people ask for help and just a bit of advice or whatever the case may be, if you can try and make some time for it, as much as you can. Because I know growing up, there was people who looked out for me and gave me advice and recommendations here and there. They weren't family; they were just people in the community that cared, and they've made an impact on me. So that's just kind of my way of making sure that just to keep that going, and hopefully others can not just help themselves, but also help their community. And again, it's a very rewarding feeling when you do.
Yeah, I know. I see you out there too, helping a lot of these businesses that we've, kind of seen going about lately that had questions. You had just talked to me this last time we were up here filming about, some of those those people that they just don't even know where to go. And it's a little tough, but with having people like you guys, and then when you guys network or we network with somebody else coming up, I think that's the biggest thing is hopefully, and I can't wait to get some of the smaller businesses up here with us, so they can tell us and everyone can see some of the struggles and know that they're not alone. That tons of other, whether that business is successful or seems successful or not, they're having those same issues, because, you have a small business now too. And like Alvaro, your brother is also in small business. So you guys have that entrepreneurial blood in you, and hopefully people, we can get them on here and let them see. And then if they need something from Essential, we'll send them your way.
Yeah, absolutely. I consider myself like a funnel. I don't, if somebody needs any business whether it's business accounts, lending, or a not-for-profit organization, or just like, hey, my kid needs to buy a car. What are the rates? How can you help? I can point them in the right direction, and even down to some financial coaching. That's something that we're getting ready to start promoting. But our people can help anybody, especially our members at Essentra. Just look at their finances and whatever goals they have, really guide them through it. And it can be as involved as they want it, or it could be something as simple as, hey, I just want to start a emergency savings account or something to that effect, and they can get them on the right track. So, we're happy to help.
And that's needed.
On the need, yeah.
That is very much needed, especially somebody who can speak the language too.
Yeah.
In my field too, a lot of the business owners that we're working with now, ensure them, a lot of them, they haven't spoke to anybody in their own native tongue. And that's what is like essential, because they don't, some things get lost in translation. So when they see someone that, that speaks the language, could help them translate what is needed. And man, they move so much quicker in their needs and their business. And we need more, and we need more, and we need more youth to kind of come in and say, oh, that sounds like an interesting industry to go be a part of, but a lot of times they don't see leaders in that position. So we need more. We need more people that are not just maybe bilingual, maybe trilingual. We have a lot of people coming in from different parts of Africa, speaking French and speaking, Senegalese or, stuff like that. So I do see the Quad Cities growing. It's growing in such a positive way, and it's branching out. And you see African markets coming out, and that's kind of where my industry is I'm working with a lot of business owners. I see these Asian markets, Burmese Asian market for their people to come in, these African markets. And a lot of the times an agent's not going to go in there and step in and say, hey, how's it going? What is your business insurance policy looking like? Things like that. So I'm meeting a lot of people in need just by, going over there and approaching. But then my Rolodex is growing. So I'm able to plug in people. Oh, you need some money, you need a loan. I got a guy for that. We can plug Alvaro in, or, and it's kind of nice because I'm meeting people from all different kinds of banks, different kinds of industries, attorneys, CPAs, and then where we could be a resource for like the middle guy. Hey, go talk to this guy. I got this guy, and just help each other advance a little bit quicker. Where before, when I first got here 10 years ago, it wasn't like that. I think it's really progressing and it's really changing. And we're really helping out one another, being kind of selfless with our contacts and just giving them more as long, and we want people to do stuff with those contacts. We want people to do action with those contacts. So it's like, it's growing. And I see the Quad Cities really, really evolving into something really beautiful. And I'm excited for the future. What do you see for the future? What do you see for the next 5-10 years, the Quad Cities?
Well, I see some modest growth. And to your point, it is becoming more and more diverse. And that's not just unique to the Quad Cities. It's unique. That's all over the country, right? Yeah. And there's some places that are even more diverse than we are. But I've always looked at, a couple things that I want to kind of unpack there. One is looking ahead. Like, you can look at the census numbers and it looks back and you see, wow, the last 10 years, these demographics have been changing and whatnot. But I also look at in Illinois, you have the Illinois student report card, or the school report card rather, where you can see the demographics of the school districts. You look at East Moline, you look at Rock Island, 2050's already been there, right? Especially with the younger students. So the younger population is way more diverse than we think about. All you got to do is talk to some of the teachers, or pick up your kids from elementary school and you'll see it, right? Other areas in Iowa aren't as diverse, but they're getting more and more diverse. And the growth that we're seeing here, I look at the growth with the Latino population, our African American population, and people from other countries. Frankly, I think that's really very comparable to the actual growth that we're seeing in the area. But I've been looking at these numbers since since before the 2000s, and have been seeing it. So it's not a surprise for me. Now, for me, my approach has always been like, not so much to let other people know, hey, you should acknowledge this, look at all this stuff, do research. What can I do in the work that I'm doing to accommodate for this reality that it's becoming a more and more diverse population here in the Quad Cities, right? And if I can do things to have some influence in my organization, so that we can break down barriers. So, for instance, you talked about the different languages. Just recently, we implemented a language line service at one of our branches, and we're getting ready to put it in all our branches, different departments, so that if somebody does come in speaking Swahili or Burmese, whatever language they speak, we can have somebody on demand helping to translate so that they can get the loan, they can open up the account. And so that's something that I can maybe help influence, but not so much as a it is a differentiator from other financial institutions because we all offer the same things, right? But providing better service, because I know, and maybe you've seen or you've heard stories of Spanish-speaking family members, or maybe you had to translate at some point, and they had a hard time dealing with a transaction. Heck, even getting a cell phone contract, right? It can be a big ordeal. So, especially in financial services, to me, it's been a passion, making sure we meet members where they're at, meeting the community where they're at, and how can we accommodate to make just those interactions a lot more efficient and just a better experience for everybody. So if I can share those experiences, that's just one example, then maybe others could be inspired to do it at their workplace or in their community as well.
And it doesn't seem like a big thing, but for those that are in need, it's a rather huge thing, because then they don't have to call a family member, hey, can you translate for me? They can go in and go get the services they need directly, and that's quick, and it's time. And time can be of the essence when you're trying to start a business, and you have a list of things that you need to get in contact. And a lot of these other services, they might not have that. The health inspector, they might not have somebody on hand that could translate their health inspection report or stuff like that when it comes to opening their business. I know, and opening up a business, there's so many hurdles that you have to do to finally get to the door opening. There's a lot of things that go into it, and it can be tougher when you just got here, or you don't. That language could be a barrier. How do I translate all these little details into my language to understand it? Because that's the last thing any business owner wants, is to do things the wrong way. Yeah, repercussions that come after that. So it's like. But that is a huge thing, though. That simple as language, but it is a big thing. It is a big thing.
And you have the insurance jargon, right? And the financial jargon. Those aren't things that you can have your 12-year-old kid translate.
They'll try.
They'll try, but it's not fair for the kid. It's not. It just doesn't work very well. And unfortunately, we see it, right? But we do have quite a bit of our staff that's bilingual, that speaks Spanish, so they could get that interaction one-on-one if they speak Spanish. We have some French, but again, there's all these other languages that you can't possibly keep up with the different languages, and having staff that is able to do all of that, and at every department, so we have that service, but it's important that people get the proper information. Heck, even in English, right? Buying your house. Right. Changing insurance carriers, right? All the language, right?
Without the right banker or attorney or something, even reading it in English for people, it's a foreign language. It's a foreign language, because there's just so much that, and then you might, and depending on who you go to, they might only care about this aspect of it, and they're not even looking at the insurance part. And you're like, well, I should have had an insurance guy look at it, because this is all good, but you didn't even cover this part, and now I got to worry about this later. And there's just so many obstacles. But to what you were saying earlier, is there is so much help out there. And that's one thing, hopefully, with this podcast and everything else, that a lot of these business owners understand that you got to get outside of your little bubble, because there's so many other businesses and business owners and stuff that are willing to help. There's people out there that are willing to say, hey, I can't do it, but I know this guy can, or I know that guy can. And a lot of people are just afraid to ask, whether they don't want to look like they don't know something or whatnot. Heck, I don't know. I'm going to ask.
I'm with you. That's me. I would say I know enough to be dangerous, but what I don't know, I'll ask, or I know somebody that might know the answer. So
and that's hard. Getting those people over that fear, because everyone doesn't want to. They're a little nervous to not know, and it's quite okay to not know. So, it's definitely a big thing. And I mean, I think we had a guest on here prior. They said there was like 23 different languages in one of the school districts there. It's like, whoa, how do you keep up with 23 languages in one school? Like that's tough. So quite an obstacle, but like you said, I do think there's some good growth here. We had talked with Mayor Ashley Harrison, with Rock Island being a port city, hopefully that will bring in some bigger and good industry here to the Quad Cities, because so for any city, if something comes in here, we're all so close together that it helps all of us. So that's the plus to everything. And so hopefully we can get some surprising growth here and there. And so it is modest, but hopefully we can get the job markets to come up with this. So, or whether it's in small businesses and people just interacting and trying to stay local and help shop some of those small businesses and keep us growing, but or even a big industry that comes in and really helps bring us back on the map, because obviously where we're at used to be a big where we're filming right now used to be a big industry that had went away, with Case IH, and so not that this is a beautiful hotel, but that was a lot of jobs that left. So hopefully we can bring some more of those in and give some opportunities for the people that, because I get it, not everybody's an entrepreneur and you don't need to be, but a lot of people out there are working hard and ready to work.
Absolutely, but you need that entrepreneurial spirit. You need because those are the job creators, right?
Yes,
those are the ones that stimulate economies, and it is risky. It's the risk takers, and there is work being done, because some of that stuff doesn't just happen by chance, or there's work being done out there to help bring not just good paying jobs with not just companies but industries and all that. But it takes time, it takes work, and you got to have nice amenities like this beautiful hotel here where we're looking to Mississippi River, like that new beautiful bridge, right? In Moline, we're working on a whole development plan for that area right next to the bridge. So you got to have some nice amenities so that people fall in love with this community right off the bat, because those, for you've been here 10 years, it takes a while to figure out all the great things that this community has to offer. But there's plenty of examples of people like yourself that stay here a while and they realize this is a great community. The cost of living is great, and there are opportunities, and it's not like a massive city that you're like, stuck in traffic, bumper to bumper traffic, right? Like when you go to Chicago or LA, here you can get just about anywhere. And if you want to own land and be on the outskirts, that's fine. You can do that, or you can live in the downtown area and have that big city feel too. It really has a lot to offer. And we have a lot of unique history here that, once people are here for a while, they really fall in love with the Quad Cities and see all the great benefits that not just Moline or East Moline, like all of us collectively have to offer. Yeah,
and that's one thing that's really exciting is, you got, like you mentioned, the Moline area there by the Spiegel building right off the bridge, all that they're going to redo. But then you got Reggie here in East Moline. He's got a big project that he's already been approved for, that he's just going to start working on a breaking ground. And Rock Island has its renewal program. Like, everybody's doing something at once, and that really hasn't been the case in the Quad Cities in the past. Not that large of a project typically. So to see that we're actually getting some funds here collectively and able to do some things, I think that's where the perception is that it's going to be some huge growth, just because those are big projects, and not that and I think they're all bringing in good job opportunities and small business opportunities, which will be great. And hopefully that'll inspire everybody to go and fill those places up right away. But, everybody in each city working on those different projects, I think that's been a first for a long time that I've seen something like that happen here all simultaneously.
Well, there's some great things happening just about everywhere around here. And you mentioned the port thing. That's something that the cities on the Illinois side are working on, some riverfront, but getting some federal grants and other things that can really bring resources and help us, with our placemaking plans, and everybody's got their own plans, but then they can coordinate too, as well. So it's great to see that collaboration. And a lot of times people think there's not a lot of communication, but there is. There's the cities communicate and we coordinate together on a lot of different things. But again, there are some great projects, great things happening. Again, for us to redo that riverfront there right next to the bridge, that's a once in a lifetime opportunity. And I just feel very fortunate that I'm at the council during the time that this is happening, because I've been also fortunate enough to be able to travel for conferences and also personal travel, and being from Mexico City too. That's one of the biggest cities in the Western Hemisphere, just full of art and culture and life, palaces. There's even a castle and a massive park bigger than Central Park in New York. And so, I grew up with some of those things, and when I go back, I'm always coming back inspired. And so I just feel, again, fortunate that I'm there during this time, that we can have a little bit of a say in that. And I'm also fortunate that we're surrounded with a great council too in our city that really gets along very well. We genuinely like each other. We appreciate each other. Obviously, everybody might have differences on how to do things or question certain things and how it should be. But man, I'm telling you, I really feel very blessed to be with a great group of people. And then also the staff. We've been able to fill in quite a bit of a lot of positions that were vacant and key positions, and they're doing such a wonderful job there that, again, just gotta sing their praises. They're doing a great job there at the city. The staff is.
That's good. Yeah. And that's good. To have that working camaraderie, and obviously that, you can't always agree with each other, but that's what makes growth, right?
Correct.
When you can have that healthy conversation of saying, hey, I think we need to do this. And well, let's see why. Does it make sense? Does it not? You tell me your pros and cons. I'll tell you mine, and we'll see where we land. And it ends up. I think that's really good to have that kind of, especially because if y'all like each other, no one's afraid to say anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No one's afraid to hear a repercussion of, well, they're going to call me out and it's going to look bad. It's nice and healthy. And I think you can see that in a lot of the cities here. And then, like you said, having this beautiful bridge in our backdrop, and you were talking about bumper. It used to be bumper to bumper until we had that new bridge. It was hard to get across there, but now there's so much more traveling. I think I had met with the developer over here in for Moline, and it's just like 73,000 or 72,000 a day going across that bridge. Which he said even I-80 only has like 50,000. So that's just the commerce back and forth is just huge. So to have that new space built up right there off the bridge is just tons of opportunity. It's beautiful, and I'm really excited to see what you guys do with that. That's going to be fun, because there's been some old buildings there for quite a while, and it'll be nice to see the rest of that getting picked up and put back on the map. And it is an exciting time. It is
Absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Also, I was thinking, the summer's coming. We got all of our fest and other stuff that start coming. We'll have hopefully our fireworks and everything will come, won't have any flooding or anything anywhere that'll hold us up on either side of the river. I think last year it was postponed in Rock Island a bit, I think, because some flooding. But, this is always, I was out here last year also, though, for the fireworks out here. And this is a beautiful spot. Moline's always doing stuff. What do you like to do in the summers, though?
Oh, well, first off, Mercado. That's my go-to. I was there since the beginning, since the ribbon cutting, day one. And so now it gets a little harder with kids' activities and whatnot. But that's where I always look for a lineman, right? So when Mercado started doing the Lucha Libre event, they reached out to me. I don't know why, but they reached out to me, and I said yes before they could even finish the question, right? So we're going to be doing the Central Credit Union sponsoring the Lucha Libre event June 13th, I believe. And so I'm looking forward to it. Right now we're working on the poster. We're working. We're known for our koozies. People like our koozies. So every year we got to really step up our plan. And so that's an exciting one. And so, and this year they're going to have lowrider cars. So it's not just SCW Pro Wrestling. They're also having Latin Persuasions have their car show that same day. So there's going to be some great synergy there, and this
Wow.
one is going to be a cool event. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Not just because I'm involved with it and we're founder. It sounds like a really cool event. So,
Yeah, no, and I know my son's he's gonna want to go. He loves cars, so
yeah.
that's always fun to see all those cars. And actually, he was on a ride with one of the guys from Latin Persuasion. Gave him a ride, and he loved it. So yeah, he's always trying to find different cars and tell me what brands they are and so forth. So yeah, that is a fun thing to do in the summertime. And the Mercado's always, like you said, they always got good bands and good food.
Oh, yeah.
Good food. And like you said, you've been there from the beginning, but you were also with us, the Hispanic Chamber, for a long time in the beginning. You as I said, you've been in so many things, and people might not know now because it's been quite a while. But yeah, you helped start this.
Yeah, well, I'm 80 years old now. No, but it was there at the beginning too. And again, it was just a great idea because at the time I was working with my brother on the newspaper, Dola America. So I had quite a bit of clients that were my own Latino-owned businesses, many who only spoke Spanish. So it was just a great synergy there when the Hispanic Chamber got started. So I worked on getting some of those clients of mine part of the Hispanic Chamber, and then also learning from them because many were so busy working in their business, they didn't have time to work on their business and going to SBA workshops and this and that. So looking at, well, do we focus on the technical assistance kind of aspect and education, or do we also have some of the events too for the young professionals like myself and others, right? So we also we did the mixers and just having that balance of the fun stuff, the educational stuff,
Right.
Because the networking is key, And the one thing that was always a differentiator too was the music.
Yeah.
So the mixers, and you know all about that. I believe the first time we had, I believe the restaurant had the music, but the second time I had to take a iPod shuffle and I had a bunch of my songs in there, and just they gave me the auxiliary cord.
There you go.
And we had Latin music, but people loved it, So, and we kept on getting comments on not only the music, but just how welcoming it was, and people there greeted themselves with hugs and just how's the family doing, and for me it was also a stepping stone too, because I after that eventually I started doing some work with the Quantities Chamber of Commerce, and now I'm on the board of the Quantities Chamber of Commerce. And so I remember the days where it was just my brother and myself at events for the Quantities Chamber of Commerce, and we were the only Latinos, and I'm talking about big rooms,
Right.
not just a meeting room, but large event rooms. And so now we're seeing the diversity in there, and then even in the board too, we're seeing that. So again, I think there's some great synergy there. With both chambers doing their respective work, and myself, I'm just fortunate that I was there at the beginning with the Quantities Chamber. I'm also, Hispanic Chamber, and then also with the Quantities Chamber, and just seeing how many businesses have started, grown, and then even the Immigrant Entrepreneur Summit.
Yes.
That's one that I get taken back every year. Like how many young professionals and young people are starting businesses. It's very, again, even myself, I'm surprised at the level of entrepreneurship with and people newer to the community, just young people starting their businesses. And it's very, I think that's great. How can we continue to foster that at all levels, right?
Yeah.
You never know who the next big entrepreneur is who's going to create a multi-million-dollar company here in the area that probably started at one of our networking events, right?
Yeah, well, we've had a lot in the Quad Cities that people don't. We got Whitey's, you got Happy Joe's is all over the world now. Hungry Hobo. You got stuff that have started around here that people don't even realize that. Yeah, they're huge now, and and it could start with just two people right here in East Moline or Rock Island or even the other side of the river. It can anywhere. So yeah, that is real exciting. But yeah, him and I both thank you for help starting the Hispanic Chamber with Bob and everybody. That allows us to sit here with you now. So yeah, and then like I said, even the work at the Quad Cities Chamber, the synergy that we can have over there with each other now, and hopefully get a lot done. Matter of fact, speaking of that, I know we're getting close on time, but you and I, Essentra in the Hispanic Chamber, we're sponsoring an event together coming up. Now, it's already going to happen by the time this airs, but for Jefas Magazine, and it's going to be taking place in Muscatine. Mm-hmm. Yep. So they're having their first mixer. And so, having the ability to work together, and both of us sponsor things so they can have the ability to have events in some of these other cities, in the outlying cities. It's not just the Quad Cities, it's the outlying cities that we can pull resources and networks from. I think that is a big plus and positive. Yeah. So, thank you for doing that also with us. I think that's a good thing we're all doing.
Yeah, happy to do it. Yes.
You have any last questions for our guy?
It's been an honor to have you, Alvaro, here. You want to leave our viewers and guests with anything? Last final thoughts?
I guess just connect with people, ask people their story. Like, I didn't realize he used to go to my brother's comic book shop. And my brother Tarcisio Macias. It's funny just how everybody's lives might be intertwined, or maybe at some point know each other. But that's where I learned about business and entrepreneurship. So you got to see it, way at the beginning.
Right.
And I'll kind of take it a step further, and doing this lucha libre stuff, and and all the, I get to dabble with marketing too. Working there also prepared me on how to make some things cool and just engaging and fun. Yeah. So you don't ever take any job for granted. Don't ever take any experience for granted. Even if you worked at UPS, which I did, I loaded trailers, left with dirt on my face, all over. To this day, I can pack the heck out of my car when we're going on a trip down to every inch. Perfect. Yeah. So don't take any opportunity for granted. To make the most of it, and really, you'll be surprised how you can build your professional and personal growth. So
love that.
That's what I'll leave it on.
Love that.
Perfect. Love it. All right. Well, as always, like, comment, subscribe. Come check us all out. You can go to our website also at GQCHCC. We're also starting, hopefully by the time this is out, we have a TikTok. So follow us on TikTok also. And until we meet again, and we'll, like he said, don't be afraid to network. Talk to people. It's all about your networks. That's what we're doing here today. And hopefully you guys will do the same thing. And we'll have you on the sofa next to us also. So have a great day, and we'll see you.